Om Shanti, and a very good morning to all. Today, we are going to read the Murli dated 4th December 1991. The title of the Murli is A Successful Tapasvi Soul, means one who has the personality and royalty of purity. So in today's Murli, Baba is giving quite a few small yet deep definitions of tapasvi souls, because 91, as we've seen, was the year of tapasya. So although Baba says each Brahmin is a tapasvi, but he is very well differentiating between a tapasvi and a successful tapasvi. Also, we all know that any form of tapasya is incomplete without purity. Right? Because if we see that in the normal world also outside, if we are calling somebody a tapasvi, um, then it has to be that it's a fact that the person or the soul has to be in purity, full of purity. But Baba here has emphasized today on the experience of a pure personality, like the soul himself also should experience his pure personality, and the others around also should also experience the personality of purity. It Baba very well says that it should not be limited just to you. Okay, you are following purity, you are into this, but should not be limited. The true tapasvi and a successful tapasvi is somebody whose vibrations of tapasya, whose the vibe of purity reaches out everywhere, wherever that soul is going. So let's read the Murli together. Today, the remembrance of the tapasvis everywhere is reaching Bhagavad. Some children are celebrating the corporeal meeting personally as a return of their remembrance, and some are experiencing remembrance and meeting in the subtle form. Bhagavad is seeing the children of each form. Today at Amrit Vela, Bhagavad was seeing the practical form of the tapasya of the children. Each child is doing tapasya according to his own effort. All have the aim and the enthusiasm. All are tapasvis because the speciality of Brahman life is tapasya. The speciality of Brahman life is tapasya. Tapasya means to be lost in the deep love of one. So, one of the prime definitions of tapasya that Baba is giving today, tapasya means to be lost in the deep love of one. There are very few successful tapasvis, but there are many effort-making tapasvis. And there is a difference, right? They are making a lot of effort in our tapasya, a lot of effort in our tapasya, but the outcome is very less. Baba says that very few can be called successful tapasvis, but there are many who are effort-making tapasvis. The sign of a successful tapasvi is that from his face and his character, the personality of purity and the royalty of purity will constantly be clearly experienced. It is like, you know, like while I was just reading the Murli, what came to my mind was those the sticks, no? The agarbatti. And I don't remember what we call it in English, but it gives a lot of fragrance to whosoever is passing by. You know, if you uh, keep an agarbatti either in the mandir or uh, here like outside your house, maybe say in the veranda or something, that the fragrance is not going to judge who's coming in front and who's not. It has to be a beautiful fragrance for all. You know, if you lighten up rose, if you lighten up chandan, it will reach out to each and every soul passing by. It won't differentiate like I should not go there and I should not go this side. Right. So that is uh, the sign of a successful tapaswi. Right? Won't differentiate that how am I to behave with this soul? How am I to behave in front of this soul? No. My naturally and my original nature is to spread the vibe of purity because inside I am very pure. So how can I give a judgment outside that, the person coming sitting next to me is not good and the person sitting there far away is good? No. Uh, So, reminded me of that agarbatti, how beautifully the fragrance just spreads out to each and every soul who passes by, without any differentiation. So Baba says, tapasya means that even any trace of impurity in thoughts, words, deeds, relationships, and connections is destroyed, that the name and trace of it is finished. There's no impurity within. And uh, of course, while we've reached 91, there have been so many murlis that each one of us has read, at least listened to, right? So, if, in every murli, Baba, of course, underlines that there are words, there are deeds, there are relationships, there are connections. But what he targets the most is deep down the thought. That is why he's here. Just changing the thought process only. Removing is just trying to remove the impurities from there because that forms the seed. So see how he says that tapasya means that even any trace of impurity in thoughts, words, deeds, relationships, and connections is destroyed. That the name and trace of it is finished. When impurity has finished, this completion is called the complete stage. A successful tapasvi means that the personality and royalty of purity should constantly be experienced in your every word, every action, and through your vision and attitude. See how he's bringing the word experience, anubhav. So purity does not just mean celibacy. Complete purity means that none of the vices are touched, even in thought. Just as in Brahman life, you consider any physical attraction or physical touching to be impure, in the same way, if the mind or the intellect is attracted to or touched by the thought of any vice, that too is considered to be impurity. That too is considered to be impurity. Yesterday, while I was just listening to, the Sakar movie, I guess Santosh Didi was reading it in Shantivan, maybe I'm not wrong. She just said that, earlier while we were very young and while we were very little, Baba used to say that It's okay if it's there in your thoughts, but don't let it come out through your words and through your actions. But Santosh Devi just said that, Mama was one step ahead. She already told us now you are little children. And that is why Baba is just giving you a margin that it's okay if it's coming in your thoughts, that's fine. Don't let it come out through your words and actions. But Mama said that while you will grow up, while you will you will start growing up, and while you will start understanding this, the whole process, Baba is going to now ask you gradually that don't let it come in your thought as well. And she just said that Mama was a step ahead in this way. Never she used to allow that, even keeping a slight margin of okay, happened, won't happen again. And of course, Mama always used to say that a mistake done once should not be repeated again. And that is what a Tivra Purusharthi is called. And that is the definition of a Tivra Purusharthi. Correct your mistake there and then and don't repeat that again. This is the level, this is the subtle level that each one of us is trying to reach. Of course, there's a lot of effort, but then this is what Baba wants us from. This is what he's something expecting us. Huh? But see how he says, even if the mind or the intellect is attracted to or touched by the thought of any vice, that too is considered to be impurity. So those who have the personality of purity, who have the royalty of purity, will not touch that which is bad, even through their mind or intellect. Because to be a successful tapaswi means to be a complete Vaishnava, one who belongs to the clan of Vishnu. Vaishnavas never touch anything bad. So theirs is a physical aspect, whereas for you Brahmin Vaishnav souls, it is a subtle aspect. Not to touch anything that is bad is tapasya. Another simple yet very deep definition, which is practical. Not to touch anything that is bad is tapasya. To imbibe or to adopt something means to pick something up. That is a very gross aspect, but you should not even touch it in thought. This is called being the true Vaishnava. To stay in remembrance, further Baba says, to stay in remembrance simply at the time of remembrance is not called tapasya. Tapasya means that the self experiences the personality and the royalty of purity and also gives that experience to others. Successful tapasvis means those who become special, great souls. Special souls and great souls are called the personalities of that land or the personalities of the world. The personality of purity means greatness and speciality in every action. Personality means to remain constantly busy in serving the self and others. That is, not to waste your energy, time, and thoughts, but to use them in a worthwhile way. A very uh, deep meaning of tapasya, right? How come Baba is just relating purity with tapasya? Because, like I mentioned earlier, also, any form of tapasya is absolutely incomplete without purity. But here Baba is taking into the deeper aspects of purity. Right? Because if we see any sadhu, if we see any sannyasi, of course they are practicing celibacy, they are practicing other forms of purity. But this, not even in thoughts. And you yourself should experience your personality of purity. Right? And to what level do you experience your purity? And then this is not the end. Others also should experience this from you, that you are a pure personality and you have the royalty of purity. This is something deep, right? Of course, purity is that one thing which Baba loves the most. But संपूर्ण पवित्रता जिसको बोलते हैं, that has very, very deep meaning. Baba says, such a soul is called one with personality. So those with such personality never keep their mind or intellect busy in trivial matters. So in front of you, elevated souls, are the things of impurity big or small? Therefore, to be a tapaswi means not to see while seeing and not to hear while hearing such things. Have you had such practice? Have you done such tapasya? Of course, we practice yoga. We sit down uh, at Amrit Vela, then Numashram, then of course everybody might be having their own chart for yoga and then your own schedule for what time are you sitting. But this form of tapasya, uh, seeing, see, like not to see while seeing, not to hear while hearing. What? Something which is not required is called tapasya. Further, he says, or do you think I didn't want to look, but yet I saw it? I didn't want to listen, but yet I heard it. When you do not have any connection with something, you do not see it even while seeing it. If you see something while walking along, what do? If it does not concern you, even while seeing it, you do not see it, do you? You consider those to be sightseeing and go beyond them, do you not? In the same way, if you hear something or see something, if it is of no use to you, while hearing, do not hear it. While seeing, do not see it. Because what happens, while we uh, look into these trivial matters, mm, while we think about these trivial matters, they form a vritti inside, gradually. And that is what in English it's called the attitude. So how is it formed? Vritti is often related to, or often given an example, like, when you throw a pebble in a pond or in a lake or something, it forms ripples. The water starts forming ripples. And these ripples are nothing but the vritti inside the mind. The attitude that starts forming gradually. And that itself starts becoming a habit. जहाँ नहीं देखना है वहां भी देखना है, which is not really required, we go and see that place. They say if we come across, if we hear about somebody doing something at the center, वो सुना, वो देखा, and then what we are forming inside, कि अच्छा, this particular soul is like this. वृत्ति बनती है ना? And then after some time, if we are coming into a personal contact or connection with that soul, everything we start recalling and everything comes on the mind saying that, I know, this soul is like this soul. And then it becomes very difficult for us to get out of that situation. Why? Because वैसा attitude बन गया ना, वैसी वृत्ति बन गई उस आत्मा की. Right? See how Baba says, if you imbibe it in the mind or intellect, thinking, it is like this, it is like that, that is known as touching waste, and that which is bad. That means you are not complete true Vaishnava. If there is a lower percentage in the personality of purity, it means that there is a lower percentage of tapasya. Do you understand what tapasya is? Check yourself with this method. During the year of tapasya, do you experience the practical form of the personality of purity? Personality can never remain hidden. It is definitely visible. You saw Sakar Brahma Baba, and just as you used to experience the personality of purity very clearly, you experience the sign of tapasya. So now, others should experience this through you. You can get an experience through both your face and your character. Even now, many people experience this, but you must now spread this experience among others through yourself. Today, Baba told you about the personality. Baba will talk about royalty at another time. The personality of purity. And tapasya is forming the basis of that. He gave an example of Brahma Baba. Brahma Baba, when you're looking at the Brahma Baba, a sweet form of vairag, a very simple form of tapasya. But of course, his was very deep. Further, maybe we could discuss this towards the end, that, what aspects or what other things do you think should come under tapasya? इसमें क्या क्या आना चाहिए? We can discuss this towards the end. Baba says, everyone has come to celebrate a meeting. Baptada also comes into a corporeal body like yours in order to celebrate a meeting. He has to he has to become the same as you. Since you are in the corporeal, the father also has to take the support of a corporeal body. However, do you in fact have to change from corporeal to subtle? Or does the subtle have to become the corporeal? What does the law say? You want to become Avyak, do you not? So in that case, why do you bring the subtle, the Avyak into the corporeal then? It's like, मुझे क्यों बनाते हो फिर? मुझे क्यों साकार में लेके आते हो? सब आप ही को अव्यक्त बनना है. Since you also have to become subtle, why do you not let the subtle remain the subtle? Continue to increase the experience of the subtle meeting. According to the drama, the subtle is also tied in the bondage of the drama to come into the corporeal. However, according to the circumstances, the experience of the subtle meeting will be very useful. Therefore, make this experience so clear and easy that you experience the subtle meeting in the same way that you experience the corporeal meeting. Do you understand? At that time, do not say that you have the habit of meeting the subtle in the corporeal. You should be able to celebrate the meeting according to the time. Do you understand? He might be aware at that time, in 91, that I will stop coming in like 2017 or something. So children should be capable of, connecting with me uh, in the subtle form. Baba says, no matter where all of you have come from at the moment, all of you are Madhuban residents. Or do you consider yourselves to be Maharashtra residents or Orissa residents? Originally, you are Madhuban residents. You have gone to different places for the sake of service. Brahmins means Madhuban residents. You have gone to your place of service. Therefore, never consider your place of service to be your place. Many children are told to change their place, and they reply, no, send us to Punjab or send us to Orissa. Are you originally from Punjab or Orissa or from Madhuban? So why do you say that you are from Punjab and that you should only be sent to Punjab? We are from Gujarat, and so only send us to Gujarat. Are you ready to change your place? Are all the teachers ready? If any of you were asked to change, would you be ready? Look, Dadi is giving the certificate of no to all of you. Acha, this will be done in April. Only those who come prepared to change or to transfer should come to celebrate a meeting with Baba. When you go back to your center, you will not wonder, if I do not stay here, what will happen to this one? What will happen to me? You will step away a little. See how Baba is, like making the foundations also very strong, because he's speaking to the teachers. Further, he says, you wish to claim the prize of tapasya from Bapdada, and you also wish to give Bapdada a prize of tapasya. Or do you only wish to receive it? All of you should come having surrendered from the center. Do you have any attachment to the new building? You have built it with a lot of effort, have you not? Where there is the consciousness of mind, what would tapasya be called? Tapasya means yours. And to break tapasya means to have the consciousness of mind. Tapasya in one word means yours. So do you understand? All of these are very young teachers, and so they would say, it doesn't matter, we can go from here to there. However, the senior ones have to think a little bit. Acha, those who go to a center may also be thinking, our teacher might go away. So, are all of you also ever ready that anyone could go anywhere? Or would you say that you want the same teacher? Those who think that they are happy with any teacher they get, raise your hand. Those who are happy with any teacher they receive, knowing that Bap Dada is responsible, that Dadi and Didi are responsible, raise your hand. Now this is being recorded on the TV. Take everyone's picture on the TV and then we will see them. How he's saying, and then we will see them. देखना पड़ेगा फिर कौन मना करता है देखता. It's like that. So this will be the question of the final paper. To be a destroyer of attachment and an embodiment of the method. Everyone has to be ready for the final paper. So you will rehearse this, will you not? Zone heads will also be changed. Pandavs will also be changed. What is yours anyway? Is there anything? Bapdada gave it and Bapdada took it away. All of you are ever ready. Therefore, congratulations to all of you for raising your hand. So we will take the Yad Pyar and then we will stop for the day. It's a 2-day Murli. We shall continue with the rest tomorrow. So to the successful tapaswi souls everywhere, to those who constantly stay in the personality of purity, to those who constantly stay in the royalty of purity, to the constantly true, complete Vaishnav souls, to the world transformers who constantly transform themselves according to the time, to such constant yogis, easy yogis, natural yogis, to the great souls, Baptada's love, remembrance, and from us children to our beloved Baptada, love-filled remembrance, and so we will spend a minute in silence, reflect on the points of Murli, and then we shall share. Om Shanti. You can unmute and share points from the Anyone?
Om Shanti,
Um,
sister. If you
Om
have,
Shanti.
so Baba says, tapasvi means the ones who has purity in every thought, word, deeds, connections, and relationships, and not to touch the waste in any of these categories. And I learned that this uh, waste thinking would be impurity and also kind of giving impurity to others, giving pain to others. So it is not to be practiced either way, and also not to receive it from them. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Mm.
Om Shanti. So Baba gave a beautiful definition of tapasya. Tapasya means being lost in deep love of one Father, and it's not limited to remembrance, or it's a practical destruction of every trace of impurity within us. So there should be complete purity. Um, Not only celibacy, Baba says, so every subtle attraction, even subtle things that should be should not be there. I mean, Baba says true Vaishnavas. It's like true Vaishnavas physically they don't touch anything. So similarly, we are the true Vaishnavas who was very pure. Their thoughts, action, everything is pure. There shouldn't be any impurity, thought or words or the action or relationship connection. Everything should be pure. Yeah, Om Shanti. Thank you.
Mm.
Today, Baba in each modalities of tapasya, mean what is tapasya or who's a tapasvi soul, defines it very differently. And today he says that those tapasvi souls who are in the deep love of Baba has a complete personality of purity and royalty, are the one who are complete soul. Now that is a point where Deepika Ben, if there's any reflection that you would like to share of yours with regards to how would we connect this particular conversation that Baba has brought in this Murli, where he says that pure tapasvis are the one who are complete souls. So what does completion stands here for?
Mm. See, while reading the Murli also, he's given a lot of definitions of purity, and we also come across many definitions. But Sampurna Pavitratam, right? The complete purity, that is something that is going to take us to completion, right? And these are the very subtle aspects that he told today that, even like Vijay Bhai also shared that point that Sampurna Vaishnav is somebody, even in the subtle thoughts of yours, as somebody has done wrong, somebody that is doing the wrong continuously. But what are you feeling inside about that particular soul? What is your vritti? What is your attitude for that soul? Even knowing that there is something wrong with that particular soul. Just an example here. A few days back, we were given some seva, and uh, there had to be a vehicle arranged for the guests arriving, and there was a conference going on here, so we had to take the guests somewhere to a particular college or something. So Didi said that one vehicle has been arranged, we need the other one. And oh, without really creating any selfish this thing here, I offered. I said, okay, Didi, not a problem. We'll ask the driver there to come there and pick up the guests, and then okay, we'll take the guests to the other thing. And somebody else was also assigned here, the seva, the same seva. But I don't know what came to their mind. They did not seem interested and they left it. Like, okay, none of our business and somebody else can take it up. Okay, not a problem, we said. Uh, like, I didn't know all this, but with a very honest and true heart that maybe I cannot drive, but I can, of course, ask someone else to do this seva. Okay. And what really happened while we were just sitting at the center, while I just informed Didi that, okay, we'll do that. Then within some time, within some time, we had that wherever we wanted to take the guests, there was a particular company that company people called Didi, from they themselves called and said that you don't do any arrangements, allow us to bring your guests and allow us to that we will do the pickup and we will do the drop off after the program. And Didi was stunned. She was just looking at me. आपने बाबा को कुछ बोला? मैंने कहा नहीं दीदी, कुछ भी नहीं. The intention was pure. The intention was not adulterated, saying that why shall I? This is not my seva. Why shall I offer? Is Didi has asked somebody else to do it? No. That one single thought that okay, this is Baba's seva. Even if nobody is interested in doing that, let me. And even if I myself am not able to do that, I will ask somebody to. I'm not saying the seva was huge or this was something very huge, but that subtle thought and the awareness that I know nobody is able, why the other person is not doing it. Nothing was there, nothing. And this worked. That really one pure thought that no, this is just Baba's seva, let me not allow any other thoughts. Didi was just looking at me saying, आपको आपने बाबा को कुछ बोला? I said, नहीं दीदी, खुद ही वहां से फोन आया. And we had to go to, this was again very surprising for me, because on the same day, same time, we were supposed to go at two places. So Didi said, जहाँ का बंदोबस्त हो गया था वहां से फोन नहीं आया. देखा, जहाँ का आपको बाबा ने बोला था देखो वहां से आया. And she was also looking at me with surprise that what? I said, I don't know. You know, the Baba was waiting for just one single this thing कि तुम हाँ तो बोलो, तुम भले ही मत करना, करवा मैं ही दूंगा. And he did it. So that very subtle. Again, everybody could have come up in a discussion that why not, why this and why that, why the other soul is not. But no, right? This is how Baba comes into picture, and he thinks that honesty again comes under the broadened picture of purity, right? ये है ना तपस्या. His grace, and then when you experience it, not only you experiencing this, but then the other souls are also experiencing this. कि हाँ, change तो आया, right? I am just relating this with an example here, Raki's sister. So hope this supports your question and supports the answer. But yes, everybody else can share.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm sure each one of us must have gone through some experiences like this from the time we had got into the knowledge age. So I agree with what you said. It's intention, and it's the intention with the purity uh, that shows up uh, the energy in the space. Get it?
Om Shanti, Deepika ma'am.
Om Shanti. Yes.
It's see anything, whatever we are reading in the Gyan now, even though Baba has never read the Vedas or the Upanishads and all, a lot of thing which he refers to in the Gyan is generally referred to is something which we get an inkling from the sacred texts and all. So coming to this word Vaishnavism, which you do, because I know we are basic Shaivites. So in it's just the follower of a principal deity. We know in Trinity it's Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. But Vishnu was always called as the one who protects, who's the one who and Shiva is the one who destroys evil. And the Shaivism people, their principal god is Shiva, and they follow more the yogini part. Yogi means to get consumed with Brahma, and the component and the one who started it was Adi Shankara. He was the one who introduced when that Advaita philosophy was there, at the time Shaivite first came into being. But Vaishnavites, if you see, Mahavishnu, they take him to be the one, if anything was wrong in any part of the world, he was the one, according to the text, it was believed he descended on the earth in some avatar, and that particular thing he cured. So he was the protector of all the thing everywhere. That's what, if you see, basically is Shaivism and Vaishnavism. And Shaivism, generally, as I told you, they are strict Shiva devotees. But Vaishnavism believe more on mantras, ritual practices, and their deity is Krishna. That's why this ISKCON, they call them as Vaishnavites. Even so, that's why you see the Nama which they put, it's vertical, but for the Shaivite it is horizontal. So these were just two kinds of sects which were created at that time and which brought about a basic change in the ritual practice of Brahmins who were there at that time. So if really you want to understand a Vaishnavism, why it's called as they do not even touch anything which is impure. If they do, immediately they go and they call it as ashuddha, and then they go and have a bath. They don't allow any impure thing or person even to touch them. Such is a Vaishnavite. So when Baba speaks here as a Vaishnavite, I taking it to that real meaning of Vaishnavite, even though, as I told you, Baba didn't have to read the Vedas and Upanishads and all, but when he refers to these all textual things and all, you have to really go down deep and understand the deep meaning of Vaishnavism. So, what was Vishnu? Why? And not ordinary Vishnu, we are speaking about Mahavishnu and all. So, one has to understand that particular Vaishnavite in order, and their thing is the Bhagavad Gita. The main thing is the Bhagavad Gita. So if you go deeper and deeper into Vaishnavism, you will understand. But today, when you were just talking about tapasya, see, for me, tapasya is just one lovely meaning, just belonging to one. Tap means just it's fire burning. It's a spiritual discipline. It's that which generates heat, power, and all. So I take it more that to be a Shaivite thing, because a Shaivite is the one who generally goes into the yogi kind of thing, burning himself or sitting in penance. Shiva is shown as sitting in penance. Vishnu is not shown as penance. He is shown nicely lying in that water, and I mean in the sea, and with Adishesha and all. So for me, tapaswi is generally, we take it to be a Shaivite thing, because they are the ones who are generally in that yogi form to do it. And for them, it's fire which burns the vices. Fire brings about complete purity. So, a kind of a spiritual discipline, that's what today Baba is spoken about. Tapaswi is equal to complete Vaishnava, is equal to total purity. Now, if you go to total purity, leave alone, Baba is saying, leave alone celibacy and all. That's all. If what you and I are not following celibacy, there are millions of people in the world who are celibates. But still, Baba doesn't call them as completely purity, not even in thoughts, words, deeds, dreams, nothing, not a single vice should touch you even anywhere. If you touch means like anti-Vaishnava you have become. So this is the deeper meaning which Baba wants us to say, and he has only spoken about the personality of purity. He has not still explained to us the royalty. What if that's the future thing which one will see when in the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. But here, in personality of purity, not in thoughts, not in words, not in deeds, how impurity should not touch. For this, you need a deep meditation. You need generation of what we call it as that volcanic. You need asceticism. You need solitude. You need penance. And tapasya is not like, it's like Agni Devata. Even when Sita had to prove her purity, she was thrown into the Agni. It was only the fire which could tell, which didn't touch any of the vices. So Agni, the deity of fire, was there. So tapasya is fire. Tapasya is just, it's not suffering, but a conscious transformation from old impure to the impure. Still deeper if you go, you can go to this, but this is what in today's Murli, where Baba speaks about what is the total personality of purity is equal to tapasya. But I would really love to go deeper into this Vaishnavism and to really study. There are so many, if you see their ritual practices and all, about why they are called as Vaishnavites are called as total pure, not Shaivites. Om Shanti.
Mm. Because complete purity has very, very deeper meanings, right? And Baba, just as everybody said that, it's not only celibacy, but the mind, the intellect needs to be so pure, so pure. And it is believed, or rather, it's a fact, while the sister was speaking, I just remembered that, in Satyug, our bodies will be naturally fragrant, right? they will be like वो एक होता है ना अपने आप fragrance निकलती है शरीर से. We will be so pure. That those tattvas are there will be so pure. How come that will happen? Because now in the bhakti also they believe that वो कृष्ण की याद से या केवल उसकी याद से यहाँ शरीर महकता है. But who is this who's remembering? It's the mind, it's the intellect. Huh? And right now, how many times in a day we sit beside Baba, how many times we go to Paramdam, how many times we go and touch Baba, the soul actually feels his fragrance. How many times is the soul absorbing his fragrance? So shouldn't the mind and the intellect be so pure? Absolutely, uh, you know, no trace of impurity should be there. Right? This is what Baba is doing, removing all the impurities so that we are becoming naturally fragrant. Just like Geja sister, while you were speaking of, the Vaishnav, so that Vishnu's chitra just came, that image just came, and I recalled that how fragrant, how beautiful these five elements will be that are naturally our bodies will, be fragrant and we don't need all those deodorants and perfumes there. So how will that happen? Because here the mind and the intellect in tapasya, we are going and connecting with him with a lot of love, right? And we are naturally absorbing his fragrance. उसकी खुशबू अपने में भर रहे हैं. इसीलिए probably वो सत्य में will be like this, So right now also the mind and intellect should fall on the same line, very beautiful and very essential, right? But of course, when we look at Baba's principles also, the way we uh, the way we offer bhog to him, the way we uh, do the other dharnas, there are very minute details in this. So that is also considered as that will also be considered into complete purity. These little things add deeper meanings to that because I've seen DBs at the center. They after having a bath, they do not even wear their slippers before offering bhog. It's like it's a rule, it's a norm. You've taken a bath and just quickly get yourself ready and then take the bhog and offer it to Baba. So many follow this. They do not put on their slippers and they do not slight, very little things. Of course, Baba's complete level of purity is very deep, very deep. The mind, the intellect coming in, but then there are also other rules. जो मोटे रूप से ना at the gross level we feel that okay everybody is offering bhog, but then behind that जो विधि होती है, that also if we follow completely, many people have many different rules, but that is also now just an example. That is also another level of purity.
But Deepika, sister, this royalty of purity which you just mentioned, you can only visualize it now. You cannot experience because the body of no one now till now is not pure. Only the soul is getting pure. But I don't know if you would have heard about, it's just a story that there are some advanced parties and all who are born, especially they mention, I heard about Dadi Prakash Mani, that how some of these advanced parties, it's through yoga power through that is how. And I love this because as I told you, I was always into Christianity a lot. I mean, I love to hear the principle of how Jesus was born, Virgin Mary and all they used to call. So I used to like that concept, but I never believed in that concept that anything like this could happen in this modern world. But when you spoke about royalty of purity, that nothing only in Satyug, that's why Baba is going to give us a view that only it's a visualization. I don't think personally, I feel I may be wrong, it can be experienced now. But when somebody just mentioned about Dadi Prakash Mani and all, it really hit me. So there are a few souls in the world who are still citadels of that Vaishnavism which Baba is saying. It is being slowly seeded and grounded. It was very nice for me to know that it is happening. See, it's just I just wanted to share about that Vaishnavism existing now where body and soul are both getting pure. Om Shanti.
Correct, correct. Right now, the elements are very impure, no? Abhi to tamo pradhan. Now it's now only the soul is getting pure, and that is why I said the mind and the intellect should be fragrant and very sensible. There, of course, we will get a very there in Satyug, we will get a very beautiful and nice costume. Right? Yeah. Anything else? Any other point? Okay. So we will just take a minute in silence, reflecting on the concept of tapasya, my love for Baba, my faith in Baba, the fact that he is the only one. Tapasya means everything belongs to him. His sweetness of love, his care, his affection binds me, ties me with the threads of tapasya, making it easy making it very soothing, and the soul becoming absolutely pure, full of fragrance, full of love. Thank you, Baba. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Deepika Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a lovely day.